All right, 97.7 Outlaw Radio FM listeners, you already know what time it is, and right here, right now, we actually have a legendary member of the iconic West Coast hip-hop group, the Lench Mob. We got the one and only Threi in the building. How you doing this evening?
I'm good, family. I'm good. What's happening, everybody? How y'all doing, whole hip-hop family, everybody worldwide?
Oh, man, we're doing great down here in Canada, man. It's just a beautiful summer night here in the east coast of Canada, man. I hope everything is all well with yourself out there in California, man. I gotta say, I'm definitely jealous that you get to enjoy those palm trees every single night.
God bless, God willing. You know, you got to take the bullets with the sunshine. Know that, right? You got to take everything. Hollywood is one area, Compton's in another area, West LA, East LA, Long Beach, you know what I'm saying? So it's all, you got to take the good with the bad, you know what I'm saying? Welcome home, welcome home. It is what it is, West.
But I know you're a very, very busy guy, Threi, so I'm going to dive right into this broadcast, but I'm going to take you back to the early beginnings of your career where you were actually a part of this is even before the Lench Mob, where you were a part of the group D30 Ice Crew, man. I was wondering if you can actually tell our listeners a story behind the beginnings of this group, and of course, how did you get connected with the other members?
I'll tell you what, Doug, you're talking in the 80s, so you got to go back to, you know, Run DMC, all that. If you was hip-hop head, then you was KRS-One and, you know, Sugar Hill Gang and all that. So I'm a hip-hop head. I'm not a dude that just woke up, you know, an hour ago and started, you know, loving hip-hop. I'm really that. That is what I pump through my veins. You know what I'm saying? So back in the days when we was trying to call ourselves being DJs and stuff, the guys like my DJ, Silly Chill, that became, you know, famous for it, I call myself trying to DJ and break dance and all that. You know, if you in hip-hop and you broke, you was a breaker, you was a pop locker, you was all that on the way to rap. You know what I'm saying? And as the Melly Mels and all those dudes started breaking ice and all, and we listening to them on the West, and we getting our people, you know what I'm saying? I just fell in love with it, you know what I'm saying? I fell in love with the whole art of it because they're telling a story. They're telling it from our point of view. They're telling it from the lowest man on the totem pole, so to speak, the ghetto, the culture of what we're doing, how we enjoying the whole lifestyle of living through what we call this lifetime, you know what I'm saying? So, just in it, you know what I'm saying? You got to love for music because you got to think before all this, you know, cats was just talking mess back and forth. Then it was poetry. You know, cats was jazz, talking mess back and forth. And then they added music to it, and then bam, there you go with them. You go with rap and stuff. So you go back to the KRS-Ones, you go back to on the West Coast, it was Egyptian Lover, King T, Toddy T, Ice T. You got to go back to that for us. So that's what we got on the West Coast, and on the East, it was the Melly Mels, the KRS-Ones, and all them, Sugar Hill Gangs, and all them. But just having a love for it, and then you know, you call yourself trying to do it, and then trying to do it, and then you got to go through the stage where you got to get battled. That happens. So, you know, I remember back in school, I had to battle my whole high school at one point in time because cats was, you know, on my way to actually gripping the mic, you know, formally in public. I had to battle everybody in my school, rapping back and forth. You know what I'm saying? Cats looking at you, laughing. You not this, you not that. You are this, you ain't that. You know what I'm saying? On my way. In my school, it was cats that was trying to do music and rap. I remember my homeboy Sean Beasley, my homeboy Roxy, Philip Sandel. He was making beats and he was rapping. And it was a crew called the Exotic MCs. And then it was us trying to find a crew. And so at that time, we in high school trying to do what we do, bubble and do what we do. And it was cats from New York coming out here and showing up with the Kango hats and the gazelles and all that. And they repping they shit. And we out here with khakis and all that on and chucks. And they looking at us like, well, we from is this. Well, where you here now is this. So, you know what I'm saying? I'm rapping and doing my thing, and they looking like, oh, okay, this, you know, we getting son. You know, yo, son, you this and you that and blah, blah, blah. And, you know, we like, yo, what up, homeboy? You know what I'm saying? Because that's what it is on the West. What up? It's cracking out here. What you know? What's cracking mean? You know what I'm saying? So they land out here, they run into our lingo, we listen to their lingo. And all that, you know, turned into one big menudo, one big bowl of menudo. And as you keep going and going and going, you realize that, damn, I'm in this. And as you go battle to battle and talent show to talent show, because don't nobody just go straight to the top. You got to battle cats. You got to go to all these little low-budget talent shows, and you got to go MC, the cat from the next block, the cat from 2 neighborhoods away, the cat that, known for this, known for that, and you're on your way. Well, that's how I'm running up to Roxy, ran up to my cousin, Fresh Kid Ice. He's in the family. He's, at this time he thought he was Rakim, so he was, doing stuff and rapping and trying to put his thing together, little style together. Me, I'm more Chuck D. So I'm listening to Public Enemy and Melly Mel. I'm more that type of dude. So I'm formulating my little style, trying to get it together. I'm still in high school. My homeboy Tyrone, they called him Tiger back in the day. We all trying to, in high school, you trying to find out who you are. You know what I'm saying? I'm going back and forth. I'm in California, and I'm coming to Arizona, going back and forth, back and forth. Mom's just trying to keep it together. Hey, don't be out there doing this, doing that, even though I'm out there doing this, doing that. You know what I'm saying? Trying to keep my ass out of jail. And she said, you know what, I'm going to take your ass to Arizona, man, because you tripping. You about to get locked up. You going from Watts to with my homeboy Keela, Darius, all them. Big shout out to them. I'm going from Watts to L.A., South Central, and then Mom's just like, nah, you about to get locked. You about to get locked up. I'm taking your ass to AZ. So I landed at AZ, finished up high school here, and running the Rock and all them. And then my cousin, Mom's in that time, she messes around and sends me to my aunt up in the Bay. So I'm up there hanging out with them, and his aunt moves, and my aunt, she moves out to AZ. So now me and my cousin clicked up. So we clicked up back and forth, this run and all them out, and find our style at the time. Rock is out there. All these cats is battling. This is in the 80s. So you got Scarface and them in the South. Everybody's trying to find their own way. And so we repping the West, but we trying to hold our own at the same time. So all us got together as a crew. So you got Rock, you got my cousin Fresh, you got Rock was on the track, and then Wax. We running the Wax out here. This is before the CC Peniston fame and all that. Before he threw her, he was just a cat from the side. So we all a bunch of cats, just young cats trying to get it hungry. And I remember Wax rolled up on me, was like, yo, me and my cousin, and they was like, y'all want to go to L.A.? We was in AZ. This is high school now. I just left. So he's like, yeah, I'm going to L.A. We're going to get a record deal, this, that, the third. Woo. So we jumped in the whip, and we shoot to L.A. I remember sleeping in the back of my man's whip on Crenshaw and Florence, seat hanging out, niggas shooting this shit. It was wild on the way to this, man. This is a long time coming. You talking about this is a long time coming, okay? This is nothing. None of this shit happens overnight. You don't get here thinking one day I'm here and the next day I'm going to be some. Nah, it don't happen like that. All the way through. So anyway, all us hook up, and as we're doing this, going back and forth, battling, doing all the same shit that everybody else doing in their town. I run into Philip Jefferson. He's the local dude in AZ that's like bigger than life. He's the real Scarface. He's the dude really putting it down. I mean, the nigga's switching, he's switching whips up like you switch clothes. You know what I'm saying? And each whip, 20, 30 racks. We're talking in the 80s. A $20,000 lowrider, $30,000 lowrider in the 80s. Nissan trucks. We talking 15, 30 racks, $10,000 pay jobs back then. This dude is the real Scarface. So he's seeing me, and he like, you look like you able to deal with this. Well, come on. So I jumped in the whip with him, and I'm the little, I ain't the man, but I'm the little running back. I was his little running back. I can't say I'm the man. I didn't have to throw to go get nothing, but I'm the running back. I'm running shit from here, there, to there. So I learned the street code that way. You know what I'm saying? I got people that was in it in L.A., and when I got to AZ, that's how I got my, okay, you already know what it is, bam. We're going to stick to the code, and we're going to do this. And so he vested in me like I'm vested in him. I'm moving work for him, getting him paid. He's doing major shit on $1 million level. So he's like, yo, we're going to do this, y'all. We're going to click up. We're going to take over AZ. He came up with this record label called South Mountain Corporation Records. So at the time, he having big money. Literally, This is Cube landed just right around the time we had just did all this at the same time. So you got Cube with Dope Man out. He landed in AZ doing his ITT school thing. And so my boy Wax runs into him, and he knows us. He knows us at the shop because we with the nigga that's really doing it. So he's like, yo, the boy Ice Cube moved in my apartment building. You know, you want to hook up? I'm like, that nigga's from, he's from the West like me. What? Yeah, let's hook up. So he hooks up the meeting, and I go meet Cube, and Cube is like, oh, where you hanging at out here? I'm like, we over here at Phil Sportswear shop. And so he comes over there, meets Phil, everybody. Everybody's like, oh, this Ice Cube, dope man. Bam, and he's locked in with the whole crew from that point on. And he's over there because he's out of his element. He left California to come to AZ to go to ITT Tech. And from that point, he realizes, yo, your man is doing, ooh, I'm in an apartment. And he's like, yeah, I'm paying this kind of dough over here at MP. Why don't I come over here with you? And bam, we became roommates because I'm working in the Phil Sportswear joint by day, and by night I'm in the streets, I'm in the studio. He's working on his album with NWA at the same time. So you got me and my cousin Fresh that already got started with the record. We was working on it with Wax, and Wax and Cube talk about the track, and Phil says, look, let's go to this place, the Wizard Electric. And Kellen Fluckinger and all them. I'm sorry to say his name right. That is the man's name. I'm not messing it up. I'm not putting no weight, nothing on it. That's the man's name. But anyway, we all go over there, and Cube is telling Wax, the track should be this way. Wax is talking to Cube. It should be this way. They going back and forth. We just looking at them because I'm like, I don't make tracks. So I'm looking at Cube and Wax go back and forth. Phil is in there looking at them like, this is costing us money. Can we get this record done? So Cube was like, yo, say it like this, Threi. And Kid said like this. Doo-doo-doo. So we went in there, did our thing. Bam, that's the record, hardcore. So after that, Wax was really from another crew. But he came because we had been the only dudes in town that was really pushing it. So Cube knowing them, and all of us was the crew. We all was up there at Phil's Sportswear store, and that's where the shit got started. It never stopped from that point. So Phil was out getting busy doing what he do. I got to take off every now and then and do a running back move, and then I come back and I'm writing and I'm selling sportswear clothing. That's where my love for the clothing came from, because me and Phil would jump on planes and go to L.A., pick up the garments from the downtown in the garment district, downtown, man, the Slauson swap me to bring it back to AZ. That's home. So I go home, and I'm looking at what my homeboys is wearing. Niggas is telling me they wearing this and that, the two-tone jeans, all that shit. And we picking up stuff, bringing it back. At the same time, we selling all the Fila shit. This is when niggas was wearing Fila real. You was Fila Fresh and the Izods and all that shit. All that was out. You know what I'm saying? So we picking that up, hustling that. So I'm hustling in the store by day, rapping by night. Ice Cube was coming back after school. After he get out of school at ITT, he comes through there, and he jump in the lowrider with Philip Jefferson. They take off. They go do whatever they go do. Whatever niggas do, they do in the street. You know what I'm saying? And they come back an hour later because the D30 is working on shit. We got shows here, Tucson, whatever. We working on all that. So I'm talking to Easy and Dre all the time. So Dre is telling me, yo, watch out for Q while he out there. I'm like, nigga, what? We got him, man. He cool. It's a gang of heats around here. My homeboy Big Ski, rest in peace. The whole West Side was coming through there. So he had all the West Side. So Ice Cube was on the West Side with my homeboy Big Ski, rest in peace. His brother Shantis. He was on the South Side with us. He was all over here with us. You know what I'm saying? That's how we got so thick. Then we was roommates, so in the evening, I get there, I got a little breezy, he got a breezy, we running back and forth, doing what we do, doing shows, he jumping on planes on the weekend, going on with Easy and them, they going through what they going through on the Straight Outta Compton album. So he coming home to AZ, and he telling me, hey, I need to get my bread up, woo-de-wah, and I'm just looking like, I ain't even that far yet, and I'm just like, wow. okay, dog, but you easy got that dope, so I don't know, and then Dre is like, we're gonna take care of you, we're gonna take care of him, three, this, that, the third. I'm like, okay, well, shit, y'all know what it is. He cool with AZ. He land here, he ain't want for nothing, because my man got it. Phil got him. So he run around with all of us. On that D30 Ice album, it's some songs wrote by Ice Cube. I was telling Phil that yesterday. He wrote Down and Dirty. He wrote like 2, 3 because he was just there. It wasn't like nothing special at the time. He just was penning shit for the album for Straight Outta Compton, and shit he didn't want, he would pass to us. And we would look at it like, okay, or it fit or it don't fit, the persona of the person. So he wrote, I'm sure it's at least two tracks on that old album that he wrote, right along with executive producing that hardcore joint. So all that is how D30 Ice came together, Cube came together, and that's where we all started as family from back then. So he was he was my roommate, he was my homeboy, he's my brother. I love him to death, wasn't no money back then, and there's no money now that it's between me and him. We're gonna be brothers until the end. Same with Philip Jefferson, the same with all of my D30 Ice brothers and all of my Lench brothers. That's just what it is. If you started this like I did 30 years ago, 40 years ago, we was kids, it ain't about the money. It's about the love for the game and the love for what we do. I mean, I'm literally listening to every one of these dudes that I know in this is my, as far as I'm concerned, they're my blood brother in this. I pick up the phone for them at any given time. They can get the last dime I got or the shirt off my back because they've been in the trenches with me. We've been across the world together. We've been in we've been in shootouts together. We've done all that. Q was there. We done got shot at a few times, you know what I'm saying, out here in AZ. We need to talk about it. So it's just, like I said, man, that's how the D30 Ice got started, and that's the same time when he was telling me that he was probably going to get up and leave because they was going back and forth, him and Easy, and he was like, I'm going to start me another crew, Threi, and I was like, all right, well, whatever you do. And, do what you do. And he's like, nigga, I'm going to have you come get down. I'm like, okay, well, nigga, let me know whenever the dust settles. I ain't got I don't have a dog in the fight. You my nigga, but I don't know what's going on. You in paperwork, you in big money talks. So I'm just ready for you to do your thing so you can be a happy human being, man. That's all I know. You know what I'm saying? And that's how it was. And when he called me to fly out to Chicago, boom, that's when everybody met me. But as far as D30 Ice Cube was there when we formed it and we was putting it together. He wasn't there when we formed it. He was there when we did that first record. And he always had some kind of input that he would, we would let him hear tracks and he'd be like, okay, it's this and it ain't that, or it's this and it could be that. So that's how D30 Ice got formed, bro, on some real shit.
And I gotta ask, man, because before we move off the topic of D30 Ice, man, you guys also appeared on the April 6th, 1990 hip-hop concert titled Rap Mania that was held in Los Angeles and New York City. I was from what you actually can recall, can you tell our listeners a bit more about these two particular shows? And, of course, how did those opportunities come to be for you guys? Because that Rap Mania was so huge that it even landed on VHS and DVD.
No question, dog. No question. It was, like I said, at the time, you got everybody shooting in and out of Arizona. People probably not knowing it. DJ Quick was coming through. Too Short was coming through. Q was in and out, living here, going to school here. So there was a lot of stuff going on. But my guy, Philip, was in. He knew this dude named Beasley. Okay. Then we got my other homeboy, my other brother from L.A., Big E, who was his homeboy in L.A. So me and Cube took a ride to L.A. to go do some stuff for Philip. And when we got there, he say, running to Big E. Big E's like, yo, I'm moving to AZ. I got to get out of, L.A. It's, the bullets, this, that, the third, blase, bam. I'm coming down that way, me and Mixmaster Rob. So they land in AZ and they tighten up the D30 Ice, the hardcore shit, even harder because they bring that LA mentality to the group that it needed, and they ratcheted down all the looseness of it, and then they was on that hustle part of it. So Phil was doing one thing, Big E was managing him, Big E and Philly J was both at the same time managing. So they both was, throwing feelers out there, know, I heard J. Key name from Time Make Social Club, and then, boom, I hear, hey, I'm finna plug y'all in. I forgot the dude's name that did, it's on the tip of my tongue. Anyway, the dude that executive produced that whole thing, he said, this is the first one, biggest in the world. Y'all gonna be unsigned, because we was in the middle of talks with a couple of different labels. Phil had something and Big E had something. And they was like, before y'all even get there, we're going to get you on this DVD. This is a once-in-a-lifetime thing. I didn't know what the hell they was talking about. You know what I'm saying? Again, I'm a kid. I'm just enjoying it's a craft, and I'm loving it. And we doing shows. We're getting on all over. You know, all the homies in L.A. is coming out here doing shows at the Celebrity. We going back and forth doing shows. And so they like, hey, keep the shut of your hat. We're going to get you guys on this show. We're going to fly you out, this, that, the third. Just be ready to perform and do your thing. So we went in the studio, knocked out the non-commercial joint. Q was like, yo, that's different. That's going to hit. It has a Chuck D feel with a West Coast thing. So it had the Public Enemy part to it, but it had the West Coast twist to it. So we was doing that. You got to remember, Scarface then was on one thing. Spice, one of them was up there in the Bay doing something. The Too Short was on some pimp shit. Everybody was doing their thing at that time. And King T was doing his thing at that time. Remember him? He was on that thing. So what happened was they flew us out there. We didn't get no bread for it because this is back then. They're like, this is a once in a lifetime thing. No bread. Just you gonna get on this thing unsigned, and you gonna be across the world. We didn't know what it was, so we landed in L.A., stayed at Big E's crib on the west side of Western and Century, and see it back home. I'm smelling the air, loving it. We gotta go up to Hollywood, Water the Bush. So we get up there, boom, and one of the King T, he got his dancers and stuff. I'm tripping like, Taylor, these are dancers in khaki suits. He like, yeah, we finna get into your thing. You on this thing? I'm like, yeah, we on this thing. He like, whoa, for real? I was like, yeah. And so we perform. Man, it was funny because I ate some food, got sick minutes before we went on, had to throw up, and my homeboy, Big Brother Lench, rest in peace. He was there. Big Shed was there. Big Cedric from not Compton, but right next door to Compton. He was there. So we had some heat with us, you know, when we landed in LA, and they got on the stage. It was like, man, come on, man, get on stage with us. And it was beautiful, man. Debbie Allen was there. It was some wild stuff for kids, you know what I'm saying? We just looking at happy to be home and then be in Hollywood, and then, you know, the cameras and all this show, whatnot. And so we just get up there, do our thing to the people, you know, whatever, rocking, walk off the stage. That's all I can remember. I couldn't take more in at that time because it was all happening so fast. So it just, 1 minute we was performing for the show, doing the show, and then the next thing, bam, I'm back in South Central off Western Century, just relaxing because we didn't get no bread for it. So it was just, you know, we was there. Then after that, we started seeing the DVDs pop up because they said it's going to be on DVD, it's going to be on the East, it's going to be on the West. Well, at the time, I'm not knowing, you know, I'm HBO. Come on, go back 30 years. HBO was big, so I knew HBO, pay-per-view. I didn't know nothing else. That's all I knew. So I'm like, we're going to be on pay-per-view, y'all. Whoa. You know what I'm saying? So after it popped out, we was like, whoa, we actually was both sides of the country. Then the DVDs popped out. Then I'm seeing Big Kane and LL and everybody else who was on it. I was like, whoa, you know, these, you know, I know of them, but I don't know them like that until after that day. Then I started running into some of these pioneers throughout performing here, there, opening up. I mean, because you know names, so you opening up for a lot of cats, and cats is like, whoa, Nefertiti's was on that, so it was cats like, whoa, Threi, yeah, AZ, right? Ice-T was there, he was laughing and clowning like, you got on that, man, you did something. And so it was a lot of the homeboys from the West that saw us performing at the celebrity theaters here in L.A., and, you know, a whole bunch of the homies saw us on that Rap Mania thing. And then when the DVDs came out and went to 3 different, you know, whatever, all the different people that put them out, we was on all them. And so from there, I always ran into the people. So when Q was like, let's go to New York, I would run into people like Heavy D, rest in peace. When he had me come up to MTV, it was it was the same thing. Everybody would go back to D30 Ice, and then would trip because they see Cube, and they like, damn, wait a minute, you was in AZ, and so it was like a deja vu thing, and they would remember Phil from performing in AZ, because Phil was always at these concerts clowning because he balling out of control, and people look at him like, who's this dude? This dude is, this dude, he like to say Prince of AZ. You know what I'm saying? So he balling out of control. We just having a good time. Everybody's knowing Cube is here for a minute, then going back and forth to L.A. So he's doing shows here with NWA here, and he's flying into L.A. doing shows and going all over doing shows between while they was together, going through their little what not that they had. And then as all that dispersed and all that, boom, that's when he was like, yo, this is what's gonna happen. And so he hit me up with that. But yeah, man, that whole Rat Mania thing, man, is that's gonna be one ride. I'm sure my cousin Roxy, all of us ain't never gonna forget that. Mixed Master, rest in peace, Big E. That couldn't have happened if it wasn't for Big E and it wasn't for Philip Jefferson and Beasley. Dude, Beasley was an ex-football player that was living in Tucson. I forgot what team he played for, but he was balling out of control too. It was a bunch of cats with a lot of money, and they was able to reach out to cats that they knew, and they did some finagling, and bam. Next thing I know, we was on that thing, and that was it, man. When I seen I didn't believe it till the HBO came out, and I saw the East and the West. I saw Fab Five and all them. Then that's when it became real to me, because I just thought, these dudes, they just, they put a fast one. They just got a free show out of us. I'm seeing Tila there, you know what I'm saying, and I'm seeing Ice, but I'm still, I see the set. It's just hard to take in at that moment until you see it replay, all over different DVDs. Then that's when you get it. Oh, snap. I'm part of this for real. This is never going to go away. This is history. And that's how it went down, man. Real, no talk.
And, of course, you went into great detail about how, you met Ice Cube and he became your roommate. But also as well, man, aside from that amazing, legendary crew, man, as we all know, you're part of the Lench mob, man. I was wondering if you can actually tell our listeners, how did you actually meet the other members of the Lench mob? Because I do know, like I mentioned, we spoke about how you met Ice Cube, but of course, there's many other members that complete the Lench mob. I was wondering, what is the rest of the story behind that iconic West Coast group?
Well, I tell you, when Q was going through with Easy and them, he was flying into AZ. I was knowing what was going on. Everybody that was here was, and everything went down. My man got hit. They hit us hard, shut the whole operation down. So I'm out here kind of toe up. At this point, money gone, whatever. You know what I'm saying? So Cube hit me out the blue, like, where you at? And I'm like, yo, man, I'm here. It's this, it's that, blase. I just got out the tank. So he like, man, get your shit together. You get on the bird on Saturday and Sunday, fly into LAX. You're gonna meet Pat Charbonnet, my manager, and then we gonna get the itinerary together for the tour, and then you're gonna fly into Chicago. So everybody else was already on tour already. They're already there. Cube was already performing, he had already knocked out several dates. Like, I didn't make it to New York for a lot of the stuff. I flew into Chicago. So when I get to LA, I get to street knowledge. Pat like, oh, so you Threi? I'm like, yeah, I'm Threi. She's like, oh, okay, I heard a lot about you, Utiwa. You Cube brother. I'm like, for sure. That's my man till death. Ain't no, ain't no money. This is just love. We brothers. We gonna be that to the end. So she like, my first job for him, dog. No bullshit. She told me, she said, you gonna roommate with Cube on the road, even though he got separate rooms. I had a room with him, and then he got other rooms. He was handling his business, and I was to go to the in-stores with Cube, and whatever equipment he needed, DVDs, CDs, posters, whatever. I was the dude that made sure that he had whatever he needed. So his hands was empty, but my hands was full. So I was a runner. I was all that stuff for him. So I would take posters, whatever he wanted from the hotel, whatever Wesley had us booked for, whatever in-store for those who don't know, was when we would go to record stores and we would go to radio stations and we would pull up in there, and he would have, he take 100 posters, 50 posters, he'd sign them all, and then the radio station would give them out. He'd sign them all, he'd do autograph signings, he'd do whatever it was, autograph photos of him, he's doing that. He's doing what he got to do as the star ahead of the group, and I'm just a runner. I'm just behind him. Whatever you want me to do, dog, what you need? I need 100 posters, I need 50 more CDs, DVDs, I need whatever I need, boom, boom, boom. So that's my first job. I carried his luggage, and I was a runner for him. That was the job that his manager, Pat, gave me. And so I would make sure all that was tight wherever we went. So I landed in Chicago, and I landed in LA, and I go to the crib with him, and his wife looking at me like, "Hey, Threi, hey, K-Kid," and she wondering how I'm gonna do it. And he looking like I ain't got no more hats or nothing. So you got to wear this Rhyme Syndicate beanie. So I'm thinking I'm the shit now, cause I love Ice-T, the Rhyme Syndicate. So I put on this Rhyme Syndicate beanie, jump on the plane. I'm feeling like the motherfucking man, and I land, and they come pick me up. I jump, I get down, and everybody is mad dogging me in the hotel. And like, "Hey, Q, like, yeah, this is my dude Threi. He gonna be on the tour with us." Hey, looking at me mad dogging me like, "Why this nigga got a Rhyme Syndicate beanie on? This the Lench Mob." I'm like, oh, snap. So once again, I'm getting dogged out. Cats is clowning, bagging and stuff. Who is he? The Syndicate reject, blah, 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 all this so whatnot. I'm laughing. We having a good time. And I got introduced to JD, T-Bone, Zulu Ed, Ice at the time, rest in peace, West, the manager, Cheeks, Yo-Yo, the first lady, Chili Chill, Heavy, I think, came on after that, Big Tom, the whole crew. I get introduced to them in Chicago in a hotel with a Rhyme Syndicate beanie on, and niggas is looking at me like, if this boy don't get out of here with this reject Rhyme Syndicate beanie on, and why I ain't seen you with the Rhyme Syndicate, all that stuff. So after we clown, they got me some Lench Mob gear, and that's how it popped off from there. And then I end up going on the road, and we had a dude named Vince, cool brother. He was the shirt man for Cube, and he was going city to city, but he was doing a good job. He just wasn't taking it to the max. And so I'm looking at his get down. I can't tell him none of show hustle, but Cube had looked at me like, "What you think about dude?" And I'm like, "He cool. He just ain't put no real creativity in it, but he cool. He good at what he do, but." We don't ever get to that next level, the $1 million level. We got to push. So he was like, "All right, well, do what you do. All right, whatever." And I land back in L.A. The tours that we come home, tours there, and so mine not running to me. And I'm wearing some of my Lench Mob shit and some of the stuff that Chili Chill made. So this is some stuff that everybody's copying everybody in the group. We all went, "Oh man, you got a Lench Mob khaki suit." I remember Chill had a Lench Mob khaki suit. Everybody else went and got one. And then niggas was making their own shit. Everybody else went and got one. So mine out runs into me, and I got some of my stuff on. He's in town because this is when they doing the St. Ives commercials. When we was pushing St. Ives real tough. Everybody had commercials. Keela had one. King T. DJ Pooh was heading that with Q. And then the Lench Mob, they got a commercial. So everybody was doing that. So Marnot was like, "When you coming out with the album 3?" I said, "I'm falling back. I'm doing a closing. I'm just doing what I'd like to do personally at this time. Just me, I'm gearing up. I ain't tripping right now." So he pulls me to the side, and he's like, "Yo, check this out. Would you do this on a major level?" And I was like, "What are you talking about, man?" He's like, "Would you promote Q and a beer company at the same time?" And I said, "We'd have to do it at the show where you got the most people held captive at one point." He said, "If I can finance that, would you do it?" I said, "Of course I would. It's my brother, and all these other cats is my people." You know what I'm saying? So, he's like, "Well, show me some designs, make some up for St. Ives, and then come with some Q stuff, and I'm gonna fly back out." So he went back up to Frisco. About, I don't know, 2-3 months later, he shoots back down. Well, at the time, Gigi, who was the secretary in the office, and I forget her name. Cube's in-house secretary. They start working on an in-house contract between Threi Gear, which is my company, and St. Ives Beer. Minot flew down. He signs off after he flies down. He sees the stuff, and he funds it. And that's not a lot of money. It's only 50 stacks, but to a cat that ain't never seen a contract, that was my first contract in the rap business. That was 50 grand. I was loving it because I'm like, well, I'm pushing my brother and I'm pushing this beer, and he's sending us cases of this shit. We drinking beer like to no avail. I mean, to the point I got sick, dog. I ain't even going front. I got sick. I had to fall back from drinking it because I got sick, because we was having St. Ives in all of our, it was just crazy. Cats was coming up, getting St. Ives, going home, passing to the neighborhood. We was on the posters and everywhere. But it was a beautiful thing, man. But I took that thing nationwide and pushed Cube and pushed St. Ives so that the world would know that this is the brand that we represented. And that was my first contract in this business was with St. Ives Beer.
And I bet you damn well you have not probably drank a St. Ives beer since, man. Just by you telling us that, man, it definitely probably seems like you're still sick of it even today.
Oh man, dog, I ain't drunk one since, man. I mean, at the time when you're young, you got young guts, and them guts could take all that 8-ball and all that stuff. But when you get here, man, you got to cut back and just straight yak or straight beer. It was funny because Dr. Sabi and all them, I would run with them when I got home. And so one day, Sabi and Dr. God, Dr. Rab, and all the holistic doctors in LA, was hanging out together. Just like how we hang out, they hang out. And they was like, yo, you got to stop drinking this, doing that. So I fell back from drinking St. Ives and just went to straight yak. And that's, for those that don't know, that's straight Hennessy or straight Remy or, whatever, just straight cognac, and didn't do nothing else for about a year. It took a year before I got back. And when I did start drinking, it was because DJ Quick put out MGD. And that's when I drank a little 8-ounce MGD, and then from there I was back to drinking beer, man. But yeah, no, I ain't drank no St. Ives in a long time, dog.
And also as well, man, September 22nd of 1992, you released one of my personal, I would say the Lench Mob released one of my personal favorite records that you guys actually ever did, which was actually Gorillas in the Mist. I was wondering if you can actually break down this iconic record, man. And of course, what was the story behind it? Because in my personal opinion, this really revolutionized West Coast hip-hop.
Okay. With Gorillas in the Mist, it was a hell of a deep project. Cube assembled, he pulled out of us the people that he wanted to represent this project. And at the time, they came to me. JD had pulled me to the side with Cube and was like, yo, can Theri knock down a few songs, write them, whatever, just knock it down. And Cube was like, yeah, I was going to, and then I just fell back and let them attack the project how they want to, because the way I saw it and the way JD, T-Bone, and Shorty and Q was looking at it was a different way. So I fell back and I let them put their twist on it, because I knew that it would have more profoundness if 4 people had input than one person on this and that. And so the effect that it had was beyond revolutionary, because you got 4 minds getting together to do one project. It's going to be epic, and every man stood tall on that project. So it was so iconic, because to hear the tracks come in the morning when they went to the studio the next day was incredible. It was, I was like, this is going to be the biggest thing, in music for quite some time, because they're speaking on topics that ain't never been spoke of in this light. And so people had to wake up to it, and it was kind of like, for me, it was like the wake up of the Chuck D portion, Public Enemy, of the Lench Mob, because they got to telling it the way it was, and people had to take the hard pill the way it was given, and they just delivered it in such rawness that it was incredible. So I was just glad that I didn't intervene, and I left it for those gentlemen to get together and design it in such a way that it could only have been done that way. You know what I'm saying? I didn't have that vision. I didn't have that vision at the time. I was on what I'm on now then. You know what I'm saying? I was still half of what I was, 'cause I just all that just happened to me, and then even though running around the country, it takes a minute to digest everything, and you're getting the whole country in one pill as you go day to day, city to city, and then you come home to South Central, and you see the gang banging, the shooting, the robberies, and this, to that, the government starving the people while doing the welfare system and all that. You seeing all this in a microcosm, so it makes it easy to sum up what you see and deliver it back to the people in a thorough thought. And that's what those gentlemen did. They went in there and handled that business, and when it came out, it was a beautiful, beautiful thing, man. It was something that could never be duplicated again. What they did was iconic for the moment, and they summed up what the feeling of the, remember we had the riots and all that, they summed up the country's feeling in musical tones and delivered the verbals to it, and bam, it was what we got for Gorillas in the Mist. And the video was even crazy. So that is an iconic project, bro.
And I also remember as well that I actually read that the title was also perceived as a clever reference to a comment made by one of the police officers who actually had arrested Rodney King back in the 90s as well.
Yeah, I believe that is where they got some of that. I'm not sure. You're going to get more clarification from JD or T-Bone or even Ice Cube. They can tell you more about how they came up with that, but I believe it might have been that. It was so much going on at that time, how the sentiments of the country was feeling towards black men and black people at that time was just ridiculous. So somebody had to go in and tell the world, this is just like how they did with NWA and Fuck the Police. That's what they did with Gorillas in the Mist. They went and summed up how the country had been feeling about black people in general, and then gave it a specific topic and a specific face, and went in and handled that business. And people had to take the directness right then and there. It was a hard horse pill. They had to take it just like it was, and that broke down a lot of the prejudices, the idiosyncrasies, the way that they view the stereotypes, all that. A lot of that got knocked down. If you're looking from Fuck the Police to Gorillas in the Mist, look how much has been knocked down from when we saw Rodney King beat down. Then it came back with Floyd. It had to build back up, but it's never been as blatant as it was, because they felt like they had a right to beat up black people and do all kind of off-the-wall stuff to us. And so when Cube and JD and T-Bone and Shorty went in there and delivered the sentiment to the world, it was a hard pill. People had to take it the way it was given. You know what I'm saying? It was direct, and it was what it was. You know what I'm saying? I wish I could tell you more. They will when they do their interview, but that was the sentiments of the country at that time. And thank God for what they did, because it made people respect the black man and woman a lot more. You know what I'm saying? Because they had to look and go, we have been looking down and looking and treating them in a way that was not respectful. And we have Farrakhan at that time speaking on. So if you look from there to now, the black family has gained a lot of respect in the world, because they understand what we're going through, because of all of the rap brothers that went out there and delivered the message of, this is how they're treating me here. This is how they're treating me there. This is how they doing us here. Now everyone is like, oh, I didn't know they was shooting y'all and beating y'all and throwing y'all on police cars. And yeah, you getting a cosmic of what the news is doing, but when you got the news coming directly from the mouth of babes, it's no way you could take it no other way. So they had to slow down and back that stuff down, and then the riots came, and you sent them in other city, you know what I'm saying? So it was a lot of stuff that happened that made them respect the black family a lot more, and I'm glad that that happened that way, because other than that, we'd be losing more black family, man. Real talk.
And also as well, you actually had the opportunity to actually help create the set design for the 1995 hit movie Friday. I was wondering if you can actually tell our listeners a bit more about that, and of course, what parts of the set did you actually help design?
I was on the set. That's funny. You do your research, dog. But, yeah, I was trying to get on the movie, right? So we were trying to get on the movie because we know we ain't actors. And Q had already, you know, him and John Singleton, we in there while they're, and that was the blessed part. We was in there while they was writing it. and DJ Pooh too. He threw some stuff in there too. But Cube and John Singleton, rest in peace, one of the greatest directors in South Central history. But they got together and they really gave it what it was and what it needed, and it gave us little ghetto kids a chance to go down to Columbia Pictures and sit down and see the big wigs of Columbia Pictures sit down in New Line Cinema, sit down with Cube, and he took us up there and let us. And these are some of the moments that I'll never forget. And I always got to thank my brother for that, because he didn't have to give us an eye's view into that. That's what helped me and all of us do what we do, because he didn't just keep us on one end. He led us into this one area where we wasn't supposed to be, and we got to sit down and watch them put the movie together piece by piece, just like a record. And then we got to see them work. We actually hear some of the financials, not a lot, just a little bit. And then this, as they shot it out there in South Central, it was, that's home. That's home. So when they doing them parts with Ricky and Bloods and all that, we feeling that, because we've seen so many homeboys, Blood and Crip, get lost to gang violence. So I'm feeling all that. I'm feeling seeing my homeboy's mama a crackhead. You know what I'm saying? All that is what we grew up under, the tyranny, the pressure of to grow up in the hood under all that. When you heard MCA put growing up in the hood and all that, the hood and took me under, all that is a part of what we grew up under, man. And that there's nothing that can define that feeling except you coming in, you born in Vietnam or come out Beirut. You know what I'm saying? You got to come out. It's either going to eat you alive, or it's going to make you a whole different breed of a lion. And that's what that did. But on the set, I was trying to get on. Cuba was like, he wasn't hearing that. You ain't no actor, Threi. Da-da-da-da-da. So I had Pooh had an in with not Gary Gray, with the other dude. I forgot his name. It wasn't Singleton. It was another dude that Singleton had. Anyway, he was one of the people, one of them grips and all that. So he gave me a number, and I back door, and I went in another door, and that's where they was putting the set together. So I ain't no grip or nothing. So I'm in there. They teaching us, pick the piece up this way, carry it here, this, that, the third. So I actually had to go in there and help put the Friday set together, and it was crazy. It was crazy, man. It was crazy, dog. I ain't gonna lie. Just all that is. Even I was even on a commercial for, it was either Boys in the one or two. No, Men in Tights. There you go. Which was a commercial for one of them. Robin Hood, Men in Tights. It was a commercial because of, I was in Hollywood working on a set. One of the dudes found out, oh shit, you put some of the set together, and I was like, yeah. And it was like, shit, come over here, give us a little. I forgot what they call it. It's a jingle. There you go. Give us a jingle. And I got $500 or something stupid for it. And I just kept going from there. It was just something to do. And they ran it a few times while they was running the movies and stuff. And, Robin Hood, Men in Tights. I'm over here working on Boys in the Hood. And then looking at them put together, boy, watch Greg Singleton and them write Boys in the Hood. And then Fridays put together. It was crazy. All of that was crazy, but that's how I got in to put the set together, man. Yeah, I snuck in the back door from a grip who had a connection, and the connection hired me for 3 days. I guess you got to work 30 days to beat SAG, and the dude was like, Threi, you ain't SAG, whatever you did, so you can only work 10 or 15 days. They pay real good money, and from there they booted me. They was like, you got to be SAG and this and that, Screen Actor Guild, all that. So yeah, it was cool though. At least I learned how to put together the set, and I snuck in the back door and worked there, but yeah, just a day of the life, man. Trying to break into Hollywood, and I want to be this, I want to be that. And then you realize you really got to really dedicate yourself to this. You're like, I don't want to be here every day. I really don't. I commend them for doing the movies, how they got to do them and all that, because I'm not built like that to do that. I mean, I guess if you're getting paid enough money to show up every day, Tom Cruise, Ice Cube, and all that, yeah, you're going to show up every day because it's a job. But, I don't know. If money was cool, it's a lot of stuff behind the scenes that people don't understand to make a movie happen.
And also, as well, man, before we move off the topic of television and, of course, movies, you also appeared on MTV's Rags and Gear. I was wondering if you can actually tell us a bit more about that experience, and, of course, what was it like just being on America's top television channel at that current time?
Ooh, man. Blessings to Ice Cube and Heavy D. That's what pulled that one off. We was coming through New York a bunch of times, running all the homeboys in New York. And I think we had to go to MTV or something. And we get up there, and Heavy D was in and out of there a whole lot at that time, rest in peace. And I know Fat Five Freddy, and it was somebody else that was up there all the time. And they mentioned something to me about, hey, we're going to do a closed segment. And we see you selling the Cube stuff. You need to come back and do that. We're going to do a New York segment. Why don't you bring the clothes? Because at this time, I'm selling the merchandise. So I'm thinking it's a joke. And then they hit me later like, hey, boom. So Pat hits me. She's like, I got a plane ticket for you. I'm like, what are you talking about? She's like, I got a plane ticket. You got to go to New York. I'm like, what are you talking about? I got to go to New York. She's like, you got to go to New York. You're going to do a segment, and then you're going to fly back. I was like, okay. I got to fly all the way to New York to do a segment? Yeah, you got to fly out of New York, MTV, you're going to do a segment, and you're going to be out. I was like, okay, bet. I jumped on a bird. I left. Well, this is during the time of the Rodney King riots. The verdict hadn't went down. I left. It was cool. I got to LA. I got to New York. Did the segment, filmed everything in the park with the other homeboys that had their clothing and stuff. Boom, everybody's good. Whoop-de-wah. Bagged everything up. I'm out. Drop me off at LaGuardia. Bam. I'm waiting. So at the same time, I'm thinking I got a 6-hour flight, and they about to pronounce the Rodney King, the verdict. So I'm in the airport in LaGuardia, and it's this, that, blah, blah, blah. Shit go crazy. I'm like, man, here we go. So I jump on the plane, and 6 hours later, the day when I leave at evening, or as an evening, at night when I get home, I'm flying in, and the city is on fire. It look like little tiki spots from the air. So I'm bugging because the captain is like, the airport is almost 90% shut down. You're not gonna get a taxi to that. So I'm like, how am I gonna get back to the crib? I'm in LAX. I'm not gonna get to the crib. Shit just popped off. Everybody is, looting and this and that. So I get out the plane. I got my bag. I'm like, damn, who gonna pick up me in the middle of a riot? Well, this cat rolled up with a station wagon, black cat, him and his wife. And they're like, where you going? I said, I'm going up right up to the house, to Florence and to Street Knowledge. He's like, oh, Florence and Crenshaw. Yeah, Florence and Crenshaw. He's like, all right, jump in. You up the way. You got some dope cash? I'm like, yeah, here go 50. He's like, nah, I don't need that much. I'm like, nah, take it, because I got to get home. Well, the cat had a blanket. Well, under the blanket was a gauge. I was like, whoa. I said, is it ugly like that? He said, man, it's looting, it's this and that. We got to pray we get you there. I'm just coming through here grabbing anybody because I'm hustling. And I'm like, for real? He's like, yeah, because there wasn't no more taxes coming through. So we driving from LAX in the middle of the verdict of the riots. That night it went down. People went looted. It was crazy. It looked like I said, it looked like hot fires all over the city when I landed. And then as I drove through, I was tripping because stores was open. People was running around looting. It was crazy. He got me to the house, safe, secure. I just wished him and his old lady, a good one, man. I need to get to the crib because this is crazy out here, man. You got that gauge. I hope you don't have to use that tonight. He said me either. That was that, man. But yeah, that's how that ended, man. It's been a crazy run, man. But yeah.
And also as well, man, on September 30th of 2019, because I do know we're going from the riots right up to 2019, so we're definitely taking quite a bit of leap here in the timeline. But you released this song, Good Things, produced by fellow Lynch Mob member Chili Chill, that I'm actually going to be playing immediately following this interview, and of course, Red Rover as well, immediately after that song as well. But for the listeners that might not have had the opportunity to hear this joint before, what can they expect from it here when I play it momentarily after this interview right here live on 97.7 FM?
Outlaw Radio, y'all. Well, I guess you can expect the raw me, who I am, you know what I'm saying? All this, everything I am is who I portray in the music because I had to live that. I lived it through the crash test dummy era all the way through. So if you don't make it through, you just crash and burn. So you getting the raw meat. When I say good things don't come to those who wait, good things come to those who take. I had to take every opportunity out here that was given because it was an option to fall back and sit to the side, or it had to be the right move. It had to be the right step. And I either took it or I fell back because I felt like this might not be a good move, or there's something better down the way. So let me just fall back and do what I do. But good things is just, that's it. That's the raw me from South Central to AZ to New York back, all over the country. Shy, that's the raw me. It's just, that is what it is. You know what I'm saying? I mean, in a sum it up, it is. It's good things come to those who, good things don't come to those who wait. You can wait and pray on it, or you can get up and go grind and make it happen. And so that was the hook. Good things don't come to those who wait. Good things come to those who take. And actually, I'll be honest with you, Suge Knight said that. He said that to Chili Till. Chili Till hit me with it. We was clowning about it. And he was saying something to somebody about it. When Till was over there signing death row. And I was like, damn, is that what he said? And I said, yeah, because he was speaking on, snooping on them. And I said, good things don't come to those who wait. Good things come to those who take. That's it in a phrase. And I said, damn, Suge, you want to say think this and think that, but he's really a smart businessman because you got to get up and take the option and take the opportunity. And that's where that came from.
But I gotta ask, Threi, what is next for yourself, man? Like, is there anything we happen to miss during tonight's broadcast? Anything else you do still want to talk about or promote? Well, we still got you here live on the Canadian FM dial tonight.
Well, Red Rover's out right now. I did that with Chili Chill. Chili Chill has been instrumental in designing and delivering to your ear what you're hearing. Anything you're hearing from me, it was delivered, designed, cut, critique like a barber. That's what he does. And he's delivering to you my thoughts and his thoughts together combined in a portrait, but it's just verbal and musical. And the thing that's coming up that everybody should get ready for is Get Mine. That's going to be the biggest single I think I got. That single is where the debut of Chili Chill rapping is going to come to the world. He had been working on it, and he's vicious just like Dr. Dre. He's vicious. It's funny because producers can direct. Real producers can direct you to perfect your talent. And so the fact that he has directed Ice Cube through tons of platinum songs, Jacking for Beats being one of them and everything else, and he's directed tons of different artists, he has done the same thing for me. So he's been instrumental. So Get Mine is the next single that when that drops, everybody, the world is going to see Chili Chill laced in with some vocals out this world. Like, literally, if you think Dr. Dre was vicious with the Chronic, this is what you about to get with Chili Chill. And that's the next single we got. We've done it a while back. We're just trying to deliver. We're trying to get a world of the video that's just as epic as the vocals. So that is the next one. We got that with, Rest in Peace, Fresh Kid Ice from the 2 Live crew. Chili Chill was instrumental in that. We flew to Detroit, shot that video. Run into a lot of my good friends from the D, Monty. I got a whole lot of people nationwide. JT Money down south from Florida. I got a lot of good people from running this country, and I love all my rap brothers. But the next single from us is going to be Get Mine, and that's when everybody going to get to see Chili Chill bless the world with the vocals. And believe me, if you like Dr. Dre and the Chronic, that's all I'm going to say. I'm not going to say nothing else. You about to get something, and the video we had wasn't up to snuff, so we cut some pieces and put some other pieces on there, and yeah, you about to get it. The world's about to get it. Not just you, the world's about to get something they have never seen, which is the iconic Chili Chill, producer, Jacking for Beats for Ice Cube, rapping, and it is not nothing to play with. He's vicious like Dr. Dre.
And I gotta say as well, man, I had the opportunity to chop it up with Chili Chill there last year, man. He definitely is a phenomenal individual, man. And I had the opportunity to hear a few of his songs, man. I got to admit, he definitely is vicious, man, on that microphone. So I'm just, my palms, man, I'm sitting here rubbing them together, man, just excited to hear what you guys actually have in the works, man. You're getting the Lynch Mob fan in me all excited.
Hey man, I'm a fan. Like I told you, you can't be in this music business if you're not a fan. I'm a fan of everybody that does this. I love them or I hate them. It's either or. There's no bones about it. I'm either a Jadakiss fan or I'm not. I'm either a Nas fan or I'm not. I'm either a Jay fan or I'm not. I'm either MC8, a Dutch Chill, a JD, Ice Cube, Dr. Dre, Eminem, 50 Cent. I'm either your fan or I'm not. And if I'm mentioning you, then that means I'm a fan. Because I know you worked hard at your skill, and I'm telling you, Chili Chill is I can't put no more on except these dudes that produce. They have just millions of years and hours in the studio, and they know how to bring the best out of a dude, and they get you in there and do this over, spit it this way, and da da da. And for you know it, bam, you got a hit, and you just like, well. I give you what, yeah, we got that. That was not something I had planned to do. Chill gave me the track and was like, right. And I was like, he was like, nah, man, I need something from you. And I was like, but Chill, this is this type. We don't do that. And he's like, nah, it's this. Give me that. And so I kept it for about a month and kicked it around. And then, bam, it started coming to me. And I was like, all right, Hot 16. Yeah, we got that. And he started working with me. And then, bam. We got that. So it's hard to tell a DJ and a producer anything. That's the thing you guys have that as a rapper I don't have. I don't sit there with hours and hours of records and break beats and pieces of this and Chill and Dre and Quick and Jelly Roll and Timberland and all these and Battle Cat, all these dudes. They use live people. I don't know if people understand that. You're not getting these rap records from no break beats. These dudes use real drummers, real flute, real bass, all these. Just like Clinton that plays stuff for us, they use real singers, you might have started with a break beat, and then they eventually erase that and deliver you the product. And this is why you got the iconics over the beat makers. The beat makers are one thing, and then the iconic producers, the Quicks, and all of them, that's why their music sounds so good, man, because they got decades upon decades, and they know who's the best of this and the best of that. Live drummers, and hey, you just can't. I tell dudes today, why don't I produce? I say, because I know the best producers in the business. I'm not even going to try to put any bit of my knowledge compared to these dudes that have been doing it for 100 years. They got tons of people on the phone, speed dial, that's going to come in and just fillet the track, and that's where you get the platinum Dr. Dre's, Chili Chills, Jelly Rolls, DJ Quicks, Battle Cats, Stones, all these different dudes, even Dazzy D, even our dude Dazzy, he's even up there in the iconic level because he's been around all these other producers so much that he can get in there and do stuff. So shout out to all the producers because y'all and the DJs, because if it wasn't for y'all, we wouldn't have nothing to rap over. So I love y'all more than life. Is y'all have an ear and you can see the future in music that we just can't see. I can see once I'm on it, but I can't see it from a certain vision that y'all got. And man, shout out to y'all, man. All y'all producers all over the world, Roxy, all y'all Wax, all y'all iconic producers. We need y'all. Shout out to y'all. Keep doing what you do. God Chill. Yeah.
Also, as well, Threi, this is the time in the interview, man, that I give a chance for the individual that slides into the radio station airwaves right before we part ways, man. Just a chance to give, shout-outs to whomever they want to give shout-outs to, but most of all, your social media handles. That way our listeners can follow you and stay updated on everything Threi of the legendary Lynch Mob.
Lynch Mob 3. Y'all gotta forgive me. I ain't the best social media. Y'all can see some of my posts. Ain't the best. Lynch Mob 3 on Facebook, and I think it's Lynch Mob 3 on IG. And if nothing else, just Three-way Three-way at Gmail. That's THREIWAY at Gmail if you just want it directly to me because I'm slow motion. But if you look up Lench Mob and then you type in the dot THREI, you should be able to pull me up on Facebook, and I think the same thing on IG. But if you put Lench Mob and you get my name halfway right, THREI, it's going to pop up. And then from there, you know, you'll be able to get me. Like I say, I ain't the fastest. I'm not the dude on there all day, every day. I don't know how to do all that fly stuff. I can relate to you a little bit. I can answer some questions. I ain't the best on social media. I don't even spend a lot of time on there. They say I'm supposed to, but I'm still in the streets. I still got to get it out the mud, y'all. So you got to forgive your boy if I don't get back to you in a day or an hour or a week, whatever. You know what I'm saying? I just don't get it in. And let me send a shout out to the EFCs, the bad guy, 115, the Orange Room. That's my brother from no other. He got there. So let me send a shout out to him. Chili Chill, Ice Cube for giving me the chance. Philip Jefferson for even taking the break and spending some bread on a brother in '88. God, it's just so many cats that I love in this business that I've been doing. The Chill. We always been cool. 8, you know, my West Coast family. Of course, none other than the big dog himself, Snoop. Gotta go to Westmore, 40, and Shorts, all them. The Licks, Tila. I'm just an old school dude when it comes to this, so. You know, I still listen to Nip. I got Nip songs in my playlist. I didn't know Nip like that, but I got some of his songs in my playlist. He's a spitter, so no, I ain't disrespecting that in the game. I got some of his stuff in there. I'm just an old school dude. I don't do a whole lot of, you know. I'm a mingle with you in the studio, and then I'm gonna go and do my thing. I'm gonna spread the wings and let you have the sunlight. I'm not that dude. I come here and do my thing, and then I fall back. I'm still a street dude at heart, so I don't know how to do all that photographing and all that selfie. I don't do that. I don't do all that selfie stuff. You might see me here. You might see me in 6 months. That's it. That's just how I do. Unless it's a show and they book it, and if you book it, you can get a hold of Chili Chill and Chili Chill, lynchmob.net. You know, and he'll tell you what the ticket is, or booklets all together, the whole mob. You know, you hit that. You can hit us on any one of the social media platforms, but definitely Freeway at Gmail and ChiliChillListMom.net is our email handle. So that's a direct if anybody's serious and they trying to put some bread down, and then Chill usually get a hold of everybody else. But of course they all got their handles. JD, send a shout out to Dazzy D, KD with Gigolo Relief. This is the Lench Mob is working on the project. For those that don't know, we started out with West with Dazzy D. We got songs that the whole world ain't heard that we working on. So I got to send a shout out to the entire Lench Mob. That's Yo-Yo, the first lady, and then Dazzy D with West, him and his guy, New West, Chili Chill, JD with JD's Revenge, KD with Gigolo Relief, and T-Bone dropped one just the other day. So, you know what I'm saying? And even I think Sir Jinx got a project. I don't know the name of it. Shout out to him. So if y'all see it, go show some love to the brothers. We are working on something. We are not out the game. We're not out the passer. We're highly relative. We're highly motivated right now more than ever to do this. As a matter of fact, I think we're working on a documentary and a whole bunch of other stuff. So shout out to all the producers, the film people. If you're trying to connect and do your thing, again, ChiliChillLynchMob.net, the whole, any one of the Lench Mob you can get a hold of, and they get a hold of the rest of us. I understand there's a couple of documentaries in the works. They're just trying to get the funding together, Netflix, etc. So I'm not hating that portion. I'm on the music end, but anybody that do that, they're going to direct you to the right channels, and then we can make it happen. So, yeah, we are getting ready to do a Lench Mob documentary.
And I gotta say, first and foremost, Threi, thank you so much, man, for just giving us a bit of your time here this evening and sliding into the 97.7 FM airwaves, man. You know, like I told you at the beginning of the broadcast before we went live, man, I've been a huge Lench Mob fan for many, many years, man. So just being able to chop it up with you for this past hour, man, and just talk about the stuff you went through and you experienced and the projects and the accomplishments, man. Thank you so much for your time this evening, man. It truthfully was an honor and definitely a bucket list interview for me. So thank you so much, Threi.
Hey man, thank you for having the Bob on there, JD, T-Mo, Chili T ahead of me, and Dazzy D and KD. Thank you for having us and having us on your platform and having your fans. That's our fans too. You know what I'm saying? We're fans of each other. Having us out there so we can relate to the people and the people can relate to us, so we all know what they feeling and what they not feeling, and you know where they going. I appreciate the opportunity. Anytime anyone puts together my brothers and they broadcast us to the world. So thank you more than anything. You and your whole team, man. Thank you.
Hey, man, you are most certainly welcome, Threi. But I got to say, definitely have yourself a wonderful night, man. And I know it's on the West Coast, it's still Thursday, man, but definitely have yourself a wonderful weekend as well, man. Hopefully down the line, we can make this happen again sometime soon.
No question. Anytime you need me, hit me, I'm there. Appreciate you.
I appreciate you as well, Threi. Thank you so much again.
Yes, sir.